What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Internet world, it is your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. I am happy to be amongst you. Happy hump day, honey. Hope you guys are having a wonderful midday week experience. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. And if you don't mind, can you give me an old nasty piece of thumbs up, because it don't cost you not nothing. This helps with YouTube's algorithm. It helps with recommendation. It helps YouTube to just recommend the content and the platform all across the YouTube multiverse. Definitely, if you want to take it a step further, don't hesitate to share on whatever social medias that you are blessed to be on. And everybody needs to make sure that their notification bell is set to all, because you never know the day or the hour in which an upload is going to come from the platform. I am going to let you guys know right now, a nigga is tired. Like, I literally woke up 30 minutes before this commentary. I didn't even go to sleep last night like I was supposed to. I was literally up all night working. Like, I have so much stuff going on, and I'm still shooting for this clothing line, and they just sent me so much stuff, and then these hair companies just sent me so much stuff, and it's just a lot going on, honey. And then, of course, the case is just like at its most magnified at this point because of everything going on around here. And then I got a whole personal life, so China's just like a lot. I'm literally I'm stretched. I'm not stressed, but I'm stretched, honey. I'm like a rubber band, baby. Okay, you just call me Elastigirl, baby. So before we get into the minutia and the meat and the potatoes of tonight, I also want to shout out my auntie, my beautiful, wonderful queen of the world, T. Trisha. Today is her mother-loving 18th birthday, baby. So I want you guys to show some birthday love. This is Auntie Trisha's birthday, born day, her naked booty day, baby. So I need everybody to tell Auntie to just take her clothes off, baby. Let the breast decisions hang out, sugar, and just get her life, okay? On her naked born day, baby, okay? Auntie, if you are in this chat right now, can you please put your Cash App in the chat, baby mods? Can y'all occasionally put Auntie Trisha's Cash App in the chat? If you guys want to show some birthday love to Auntie, I'm about to put some coins in her piggy bank right now myself. Auntie, please put your Cash App in the stream, y'all, and just wish Auntie Trisha infinite and more immortal years upon this earth. Once again, I said it yesterday, and I just got to say it again today. This woman is just literally superwoman. The last person I encountered that I felt was an angel incarnated was my grandmother on my father's side. And I have not felt a presence like that. And my grandmother passed away back in the mid-90s from lung cancer on my father's side. I haven't felt a presence like that since Auntie Trisha. So there's something very familiar about her to me. I have felt this spirit. I've felt this energy before in my life. And y'all think Auntie Trisha is a beast on the foregrounds. I mean, Auntie is just well built on the front end and the back end. I mean, she labors, and she labors out of pure love. Doesn't look for a lick of attention, a lick of reciprocity back. Literally just gives from the depth of her being. So please celebrate this melanated goddess, honey. And to shower her in love. We love you, Auntie Trisha. Thank you so much. You mean a lot to so many people on these streets. You're just incredible, child. So I'm gonna be cash apping you. If I don't cash app you during the stream, I'm cash apping you when the stream ends. I love you to death. So you guys make sure to once again give an old nasty piece, a naked booty birthday shout out to Auntie Trisha, y'all. We are here for some very interesting, detailed things, baby. Now y'all know CTV specializes in the truth, sugar. Okay. The whole entire truth, baby. And what we about to read, the documentations we about to read, baby, just affirms that I have some solid sources, and it just affirms, okay, the integrity of my commentary, baby, because we don't spin narratives. I told y'all we spin truths over here. So y'all know how I like to do, baby. We gonna pop our puss and pop our private parts and our upper body parts. We gonna pop our booty parts and everything. Get all nasty with it, baby, to this whole nasty piece of them niggas ain't on our what. And then we're gonna get into the thick of it right after. And once again, shout out and happy 18th birthday to Auntie Trisha. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, Larry, baby? Listen, this is just a little remix to remind you that you are still the shiznit. So don't even worry about Darryl Moore the bomb and his B-team minions, because you had a purpose before they even had an opinion. You still got much love out here, and you are still winning. So let those haters hate, and let those trolls troll. Wow. They are just mad because they will never ever rise to your level. Y'all haters ain't on his 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 level. You ain't on his level. Here we go. We're gonna start with Darryl Moore. You ain't on his level. And I'll say your name, cause from the pits of the hell you came. You's a dirty old man. You came up with a lame ass plan. You tried to take Larry down, with a proof that was unfound. Shame on you. Find something else better to do. Cause that same ditch that you dig in is the same ditch your ass gonna fall in. You recruited El Carter, and his dumb ass ain't no smarter. And as a matter of fact, I think you want Larry's feet in your crack. Damn! Marcellus, looking like Hannibal Burris. You're always making threats, but ain't never done a damn thing yet. Ain't you that gutter snake who made fun of Larry's rape? You'll say it ain't so, but when we saw you on a video, shut the hell up and sip your tea, because a badass you'll never be. All you do is talk shit with that lame ass 18 clip. And now we got big little Kim, who really just wants to sit in. I won't go in on you, sis, but you so much better than this. And Roxanne, Darryl don't wanna be your man. He is just using you because he needs a clicking of you. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Black Mr. Clean. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Whoever the hell y'all be, you ain't on his level. Y'all the biggest haters I ever seen. Y'all niggas ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. You ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. You ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Y'all niggas ain't on his level. Y'all ain't on his level. You will never be on his level. Hey, you ain't on his level. You tried it though. Gotta give you an A for effort, but you really got an E for epic failure. Now go cry in the car.
High level. Y'all, I am so tired, girl. I'm gonna be pushing through this commentary today. What's going on? This beach is better, but we gotta do our show, beach. We gotta do our show. I ain't forgot. I ain't forgot about the continuation of the situation. So we got a plan that for sure. I still want to do that. I still want to have that twerking stuff, honey. Okay. Shout out to Beach is Better. She's another beautiful content creator. You guys make sure that you guys go over to This Beach is Better OG Wit. Okay. Please check her out over on YouTube, honey. This is baby mother number 4. Okay. So what's going on? I can't speak to everybody because there's too many of y'all in here right now. And I don't want to keep y'all long because we already got a lot to get into. I know y'all have been keeping up hellified with what's been going on already. So this will pretty much be the proof in the pudding regarding the commentary I gave yesterday about defendant Darryl down low gutter anus Moore being found in contempt several minutes after the gag order was activated, baby. The man was in contempt literally minutes after the gag order. Literally unprecedented, baby. The lawyers literally have never seen such a thing, baby. The lawyers actually knew that more than likely they would have to revisit Mrs. Moore, but they thought it was going to be months out. But that's just because they really don't know how delusional and homo attracted this gutter anus nigga is to the plaintiff, okay, our bald-headed secular man of God, Larry D. Reid, okay, Larry Reid live and things, okay, so, you know, they didn't really know how real the thirst was, you know, we all have been witness to it, you know, so, you know, they kind of underestimated just how powerful and magnetizing and grotesque the thirst was, so, none of us was surprised, baby, that he ended up in contempt immediately. Immediately, baby. So the lawyers went to work the day of 5:05 p.m. on December the 20th. Went to work, filed motions, woke up the next morning, saw that FUPA still was in contempt because Larry-related content was still up and plastered all over his platforms. Filed more motions and have been filing motions. Now, what I'm about to read to y'all today is a epic, nuanced, complex layout from Larry's attorney himself to the presiding judge over this defamation suit, Judge S. Gwynn. Okay, once I read this to you guys, and this is 52 pages. In this 52-page, motion to the courts regarding Darryl's contempt is, so let me just back up a little bit. Darryl thought he was going to be clever and spin narratives because he knew that the gag order was ultimately a private order, okay? He knew that the general public didn't know exactly what was in the order. He also didn't think that the email he accidentally sent to his lawyer, the email he sent to his lawyer, he also accidentally sent it to Larry's lawyer as well, which also created a breach in the attorney to client relationship that's actually against the law. He also will be charged and fined for making contact with Larry's attorneys outside of the courts. Darryl doesn't get to make direct contact with Raymond. Darryl doesn't get to make direct contact with Larry's attorney. He has retained an attorney himself, which is Fred Middleton, for that very reason. So when Darryl put Larry's attorney in the chain email yesterday in an attempt to appeal to the court so that he can lift the contempt of court charge under the guise that he was manipulated and that he didn't understand the gag order and that he was pretty much taken against his will under false pretenses. But the case is with prejudice because they settled out of court for a gag order. In return, Larry would not extrapolate restitution that would have been afforded to him from the damages done to Larry D. Reid's Patreon as a result of the smear campaign that was led over the past 2 years. That means that this case cannot be retried. Larry cannot resue FUPA. Neither can FUPA initiate a lawsuit against Larry. No evidence can be resubmitted. There's nothing that Darryl can do. There is no such thing as appealing. That's what the judgment of with prejudice. With prejudice. This is absolutely unequivocally done. Darryl Moore and Larry D. Reid would never sit in litigation ever again. And Darryl will have a gag order permanently for the rest of his everlasting life, and he's mad about it. But what happened yesterday and the day before was that he had went live out of narcissistic rage, spewed out a bunch of threats and violence, and defied the courts, rebelled against the courts. And he realized afterwards, after he hadn't got all that evil out of him, after he hadn't got all that rage out of him, that he had messed up. So he went and deleted both the lives, and then privated 100 videos, and then tried to find a way to soothe the fact that he just put himself in contempt once again under the false delusion of appealing the injunction order, which once again cannot and will not happen. So he's royally fucked. So this means that Darryl has given a middle finger, a notable middle finger to the court system. He has explicitly disobeyed the judge's order, the mediation agreement, the gag order. Yesterday, I went over what the consequences and repercussions are of a first offense, a second offense, a third offense, etc. Imprisonment and fines are indefinite. This is federal. It's not civil. It's not state-wise. This is federal. This is serious court business. Okay? So the way that this attorney wrote this thing up is really crazy. You guys are going to get to see the email that Darryl sent last night. You guys are actually going to be able to see the gag order and what's in it and just how much ground it covers tonight. And all we will be waiting on after today, which can be any moment now, is the court's response to Darryl being in contempt and the request that Larry's attorneys made in his motion to the courts. Okay, so I hope that was just a little quick. Hey Kat, what's going on, love? Hey Casey, hey everybody. So let's get into it, y'all. Oh, hold on, before we get there, girl. So it was brought to my attention that Miss Mikko, who is one of the victims of this abuser, Darryl Moore, you know, she is King Jive's best friend, who is another victim of this abuser, Darryl Moore. You know, all of us are people who have been targeted by Gutter Anus and his dilapidated squad. And there's been a lot that has happened, okay? Now, Miss Mikko had disappeared about 2 months ago. I assume she came to some conclusions and some enlightenment, and she got more involved with her salon business and her haircutting business, and she has remained focused on that. But apparently there was a video and a commentary made today, and I didn't get a chance to see it because now the video is on private. But y'all know how the street committee is, child. Y'all be screen recording and downloading and all this stuff, and you know, y'all be on it. So I just want to say to Miss Mikko, because I can't speak for nobody. I can't speak for Larry. I can't speak for Knockout. I can't speak for nobody. Miss Mikko, you seem to be under the impression that I don't like you. What I will say is that there certainly is a conversation you and I can have. And we can do that privately or publicly. It makes me no never mind. And I'm just going to leave it at that and put the ball in your court. And I will also say that I initially didn't have an issue with you until I discovered that you had an issue with me. And once again, that's something that you and I either can or can't and don't have to speak about because you and I don't have a friendship to begin with. But what you do have is direct access to me. And I would appreciate that if you do have any questions that you don't communicate to me through the internet when you have the luxury and the privilege of having my actual phone number. If that is something that is for real on your mind, you can ask me directly what is from what ain't, because I have no problem speaking very matter of factly and being extremely transparent. So you can hit me up or not, email me or not, text me or not, call me or not. Since you made the announcement today in your video that you are under the impression that I don't like you. And if that's something that you are interested in verifying and or clarifying, once again, do not hesitate to reach out to me and we can have that conversation in any which way you would prefer to have it, publicly and or privately, is of no preference to me. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, what's going on, Knockout? Hey, Breaking the Culture, what's going on, love? It was something else I wanted to get into. Oh, I want to make this other reference before we go any further into this commentary tonight. Some of y'all are seeing Darryl act crazy, and I'm using acting quotations, baby, because this is a performer. This is not a gangster. Darryl is not a real ass nigga. Darryl is not somebody who has the heart to pull the trigger. Darryl does not have the heart to pull up to someone's home and make sure that they're in it so that they can have a official meet and greet with him. Okay? Keep in mind that when he did pull up into Larry Reid's neighborhood, he made sure to do that while Larry Reid and all of his homeboys and all of his thug friends were all in Miami. He pulled up to an empty house and he made sure to strategically make sure that Larry and his friends were nowhere in proximity of his home before he decided to pull up and to give an innuendo that he could kick the door in. Okay? So Darryl is not going to do anything but sell wolf tickets and blow smoke out of his dick sucker the way that he always does. He has apparently doxed everybody 50,011,000 times, and if you let him tell it, knows exactly where everybody is. So when y'all hearing those threats, you tell him to pull up on to the address and stop talking about it and to be about it. Because I personally have extended an invite to the Ponderosa, for the past 2 years. Certainly did it yesterday, the day before, and the day before that. Every time he wants to come flashing his pellet gun, every time he want to come flashing his water gun on his t-shirt with them big ass titties protruding through, every time he want to get in his fifis and stuff, I always let him know that it's an invite. It's an invite. And that when you come, I'm going to put the chainsaw to the back of the front of your motherfucking neck. I'm going to run the chainsaw up the back, the front of your motherfucking neck. Okay? But it is an invite, girl. It surely is an invite. Okay? You always let it be known that you want to see the girls. Well, this girl here has once again extended you a personal... Send it to the police, Darryl. You've been invited, girl. You're not trespassing. Okay? Okay? You are not. Okay? Hold on, y'all. My phone. Oh, I'll call him back. So, once again, girl, pull up, keep the cameras rolling, and we'll see how that ends for you. Now that we've gotten that clear, that Darryl knows who all is actually dangerous in this situation. You got to remember, in Darryl's narrative, we're all career criminals, prostitutes, parking lot thoughts, porn stars, and, we are offenders of the law. So I want him to remember that that's his truth. I want him to remember, baby, okay, that when you are brandishing weapons and threats, that you are doing that to people who you say have no respect for the law. And I want you to remember that the laws you accuse them of breaking in the past are the same laws they willing to bend and break in the present. I want you to remember, baby, that you are talking and threatening people who have no regard and not near respect for the law. I want you to remember it. That's what I want you to do. Bow and arrow straight to the back of your motherfucking neck. How about it? Now let's get into this situation, girl. Now that I've given out all those disclaimers, child. Because all of us are butt naked out in our front yards. All of us are cutting our front and backyard, baby. We out planting rose gardens and our robes and things, baby. These cakes be bouncing all around my acreage, baby. Okay? Pull up, say hi, and get the motherfucking bow and arrow to the back of the front of your motherfucking scalp. Just like that. Just like that. Now, I'm about to share my screen, girl, so we can get straight into it, girl. We got a lot to get up into. I know. Don't be rushing me. Hold on. I'm getting text, y'all. I'm also trying to wake up, girl. I am literally exhausted. Okay. All right. So all of this is going to be in the Patreon as well, girl. All 52 documents. If you do the playback, you can always pause the screenshot, whatever the case may be. So let's get into it, girl. Okay. Now, this is what Larry's lawyers petition, girl. And there's a lot here, so let's just go. Now, plaintiffs Larry D. Reid and Larry Reid Live LLC by and through undersigned counsel who respectfully moved to the court for an order enforcing the terms of the settlement agreement that was signed by the defendant on December 17th, 2021. So that means that he actually signed the shut his motherfucking mouth agreement before Larry even did it. Okay, was fully aware. Ran to put his John Hancock down and solidify shutting his motherfucking mouth, baby. Didn't even wait to the final midnight stroke of midnight. Didn't even wait till the final hour, girl. He signed it before Larry did. Okay, signed by the defendant on the 17th of 2021, violated by the defendant on December 20th, 21, and is being violated by the continuing presence online of dozens of videos, including new ones, which under the terms of the settlement agreement were to have been removed by Moore no later. See this part? No later than 5 p.m. on the 20th. That would have been this Monday. That was the stroke of midnight for him. 5 p.m. on the 20th. For those reasons, the plaintiffs respectfully moved to the court, declared the defendant has violated the terms of the settlement agreement to issue a mandatory injunction that requires the defendant to perform the actions to which he agreed in the settlement agreement, including removing from the internet all content that in any way refers or relates to the plaintiffs so let me clarify that, because I didn't quite clarify this too. The way that this gag order, and you're going to see it for yourself in a few, is set up is that the plaintiffs would be not only Larry, but all of his employees and his family. And there is commentary and content, defamatory content up about Kendall Peacock, who is Larry D. Reid's personal assistant, about Vincent Hill, who is Larry D. Reid's production manager, about Shamako Bryant, who also is a personal chef and a co-pastor for Larry's virtual church. Okay? The plaintiffs will also cover Larry's family. Any commentary up there about his daughters. Anytime that FUPA had the children's name in their mouth and referring to CPS and talked about Zoe, talked about Lisa. All of those people are within this injunction order. They're covered within the language of this gag order. So that's why it says plaintiffs, plural, or either of them to permanently enjoin the defendant from publishing or circulating online content that meets the description set forth in the settlement agreement of what he agreed not to publish, to declare that the court has found that failing to remove the agreed upon content from the internet and publishing new content regarding Reid violates the settlement agreement, and ordering the defendant to pay the attorney fees incurred by the plaintiffs in connection with the preparation and filing of this motion and its supporting memorandum. The basis for this motion and for the relief being sought are stated in the memorandum filed herewith and incorporated by reference herein. Okay, here it is. You see Larry's attorney signatures, etc. Okay, certificate of service. Okay. And this just talks about when this motion was filed, etc., made up by the counsel, recorded, submitted, etc. Okay, let's keep on moving here. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This case arises from the publication by defendant Darryl Moore of dozens of videos falsely alleging that one of the plaintiffs, Larry D. Reid, had engaged in various criminal and nefarious activities, including child molestation, tax fraud, tax evasion, defrauding the United States government, domestic abuse, extramarital affairs, witness intimidation, and more. So once again, the paperwork, the facts, bear out, articulate for any of the dumbass, decrepit, dusty, worthless ass bitches in the back of the sanctuary who love to, for whatever reason, reduce this lawsuit to just the allegations from one avatar. One avatar. One avatar accused him. One big ass country ashy ass power bottom out of the caves of North Carolina who offered Larry the asshole, who was rejected because Larry wasn't interested in country power bottom ass underage asshole. Okay? Made those allegations in secret and in private and didn't want no legal smoke. But as you see here once again, FUPA was being held accountable for a plethora of defamation statements, tax fraud, tax evasion, defrauding the United States government, domestic abuse, extramarital affairs, witness intimidation, etc. Okay? Put the plural on defamation for the dumbass hoes who think that and thought that this case was about molestation and molestation alone. Because if you let lying, gutter anus more tell it, baby. This is about the accusers. And the reason why he likes to run with that is because he is in fact guilty of everything listed, all 77 grievances in this lawsuit. The only thing he can attempt to bring some virtue to himself about is the allegations. I did this for the accusers. I did this for the accusers. He can't deal with the tax fraud, the tax evasion, the defrauding the United States government, the domestic abuse, the extramarital affairs, the witness intimidation, and more, because he is guilty as such. He can't defend it. Therefore, he has to throw out 99.9% of the lawsuit and stick to one narrative, because that one narrative makes him appear to be of some virtuous character. I was protecting somebody, y'all. Refuses to acknowledge that 99.9% of the defamation lawsuit involves the rest of these things. And I'm talking about to the extreme extent, baby, that the molestation allegations never even came up over the course of 5 months, never even came up in mediation, never even came up in the initial video conference call that took place months ago. Didn't even get to any of that. That's how irrelevant the molestation was. I already told y'all the reason why Larry sued Miss Moore is because money started flowing out of his Patreon. And because one of his gutter snipe flying monkeys with a triple chin and a double belly decided to do a tutorial to also help people to migrate away from Larry's Patreon. That's when this black man put his foot on these niggas' necks, baby. You can call me what you want. They said worse things about Jesus. But what you're not going to do is take one single brown, earned, hard-worked penny of mine from me, you dusty group of bitches. That's what you're not going to do, bitch. You can say what the fuck you want to say about me, bitch. But what you're not going to do is take nothing away from me, bitch, that I work for every single day. That is why Larry put his foot on that motherfucking nigga's neck. Okay, when he noticed that there was money leaving his Patreon. Now, before I move on, Larry is a multi-millionaire. So the money that left out of the Patreon was not money that would have left Larry broke. It wouldn't have left him under a bridge. It wouldn't have reduced him to shopping for his groceries at Dollar Tree. It wouldn't have did all that. But money nonetheless was leaving his Patreon. And y'all know how we as black people is, baby. We want all $10.14, bitch. Cut it out in my hand. I want the change too. It's mine. Moving along. On September the 8th, 2021, the court ordered mediation. In order setting the terms and date of that mediation was entered by Magistrate Judge Greenberg on September the 15th of 2021. The mediation was conducted via conference on December the 6th and was attended by the parties and their respective counsel. An agreement was reached, the principal terms of which were placed on the record that day. The parties were ordered to memorialize their agreement and to enter a joint stipulation of dismissal with prejudice once again, no later than 5 p.m. on Monday, December the 20th of 2021. Undersigned counsel prepared and circulated a draft agreement, which was signed by the defendant and his counsel on the 17th of December and countersigned by the plaintiff and undersigned counsel 2 days later. Now, what the Lion team would have you believe is that mediation was requested by Larry. But once again, as the paperwork, the black and white, the actuality and factuality keeps demonstrating and reinforcing and echoing, is that this was a court-ordered mediation, not a request by the plaintiff, nor a request by the defendant, but an idea birthed by the courts themselves, who decided that Larry could get Darryl to shut the fuck up without having to take this to trial and big production and spend more money when all you're going for is an injunction. Certainly, this is something that the defendant can agree to, especially since he doesn't have a case. And you guys are going to see just how much of a case he didn't have. Y'all learned that by his own attorney's memorandum, FUPAS, who tried to resign from the case because his client was broke, dusty, indignant, unyielding, and had no defenses for his counterclaim, nor his defense for the direct lawsuit and all 77 of those claims. This attorney, Larry's attorney, is going to further solidify that. The settlement agreement provided as a principal term that the defendant would take down all videos, and other material involved, related or referred to Larry D. Reid and or Larry Reid Live, LLC, no later than 5. The following provisions of the settlement agreement are germane to this motion. We begin with some pertinent definitions. The takedown. I cannot stand. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I'm coming. Okay, I'm back. The takedown. Let's get into it. Shall mean to remove from online access to the fullest extent possible. Now, this is stuff y'all never seen. Y'all haven't seen the inside of the gag order, but it's gonna get into all of it. The takedown shall mean to remove from online access to the fullest extent possible, so as to make access unavailable via the internet and or the web any and all of the following: all user-generated content, comments, interactive comments, keywords, metadata, text, video files, audio files, blogs, social media content, images, drawings, hyperlink, indices, and information of any sort. This term shall be constructed broadly and read to impose an affirmative obligation on the parties and each of them to remove such materials and render them inaccessible and unavailable with deliberate speed and diligence. Relate, and any variant thereof shall mean to mention, constitute, contain, summarize, describe, concern, refer to, allude to, or address in any way the subject matter thereof. Now, remember when Ms. Moore said that she just can't talk about Larry on social media, even though that's exactly what she did, which is why she's in contempt of court to begin with? She said she can, though, go to the press. She can, though, be caught as a witness when Larry goes to sue PPP Loan Macmillan and Shitterline Chandler and Roxanne the man with the mustache. That's not true. Because as you can see here, as a part of the gag order, means that not only does he have to shut his cock blower socially, virally, virtually, but he got to shut his super soaker throater in general. Relate in any variant thereof means to mention, constitute, contain, summarize, describe, concern, refer to, allude to, or address in any way the subject matter. And it doesn't say on the internet at the end of that sentence. That's period to the period. Is it period to the period? Shout out to King Pang. Party or parties adverse to them shall mean when applied to Reid and or LRL, defendant Moore, and when applied to Moore shall mean plaintiffs Reid and or LRL. Moore's obligation to remove online content under the settlement agreement were broad and detailed and unambiguous. So this idea and narrative that Moore is spinning, because he knows that you guys are not inside of the case, because before he was in contempt, he would have had the luxury of letting what transpired in private remain private. But because he's in contempt, Larry's lawyer was able to put everything that you guys would not have known under normal circumstances and bring it all to the light. So Moore attempting to capitalize off of y'all not knowing what was written up in the gag order, as you guys are getting insight here, is trying to say what he can and can't say and wanting you to take his word for it, which is really weird because his actual livelihood is on the line, nigga. Your freedom, your freedom is at stake. You worried about what people believe rather than actually being obedient, bitch, to these legal agreements that you committed to and signed to. This is your covenant with the state, and you more worried about what people believe rather than honoring what actually is. Once again, Moore's obligations to remove online content under the settlement agreement were broad, detailed, and unambiguous, meaning that this man knew that he knew that he knew that he knew that he knew what he signed. He had opportunity to read over it, to mediate over it, and then to see it in black and white and ultimately sign it on December the 17th. So now this idea that I'm going to appeal and I submitted, he ain't submitted shit with prejudice, baby. Your shit got flung back to you. There is no appeal. Let's continue. On or before the end of the business day, no later than 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, etc., and each of them shall take down any and all content which they have published via the internet and or web, which remains subject to their control, that in any way mentions, involves, describes, refers, relates to, involves, or pertains to the party or parties adverse to them in litigation. More shall take down all such content regarding Reid, LRL, or both of them, as well as any of their relatives and or employees. So remember when Larry offered me the job? This is where I also can be covered if I decide to take Reid up on being brought on to his business as an image consultant / PR. Okay, because I will then become an employee. And that also would mean that both me and Moore would have to legally shut the hell up, as Larry and Darryl have had to shut the hell up, even though Larry was under a self-imposed injunction up until having to sue Darryl. So that is not difficult for Larry. Okay? Reid and LRL, and each of them shall take down all such content regarding Moore and or his relatives and employees. That would be none. He has no employees, and he has no relatives. Once taken down, the content shall never be available online via the internet or on the web. When Moore talks about, even though you guys just read earlier that he can't even talk about Larry outside of the internet, but this reinforces even that, because today, we're living in a work class, a social media driven world. That means that you can't even talk to physical media without what you've said being published online. You can't talk about Larry in any way that's publishable. You want to have private conversations with your homeboy, you can do that. You can't do anything that is publishable. Nothing. So this idea that I can talk to media, I can't talk about him on social media, where the hell does he think reporters put their work up on? Where the hell do he think journalists upload their stories to? The internet. Where do you think they go? They are possibly published on television. You're under a gag order. You cannot do anything and talk to anybody and say anything about Larry, his friends, his business, his employees, etc. That is publishable. Wow. Now you want to talk to your ancestors about Larry, you perfectly fine. Them hoes don't got a social media page to publish to. They ain't got a network or TV screen to do it to. The settlement agreement not only requires the removal of existing content, but forbids the creation of new content by Moore, which he already has, which is why he's in conjunction. The 2 videos he deleted that we already have, that were transcribed and provided to Judge S. Gwynn, as you're going to read later on here, and all of this. Regarding Reid after Monday, the parties, each and all of them, shall forever, baby, forever, ever. Let me sip, baby. Hold on. Woo! Chow. The parties. Let me sip again. Girl, I had to quench my thirst. The parties, girl. Hold on, one more swig. I'm using a lot of dick sucking muscles right now, girl. Giving y'all the legal read of your life. The parties, baby. Hold on, just one more time. One more time for the road. Woo, sucker, don't fail me now. The parties, each and all of them shall forever refrain from creating, publishing, and or distributing via the internet and or the web content, user-generated content, comments, interactive comments, metadata, keywords, hyperlinks, indices, and other information that in any way mentions, involves, describes, refers, relates to, involves, or pertains to any of the following: the party or parties adverse to them in this litigation, any relative of a party adverse to them in this litigation, or any employee of a party adverse to them in this litigation. Pursuant to Magistrate Judge Greenberg's order, the settlement agreement provided that the parties would dismiss their respective claims and counterclaims on or before the end of business day of the 20th. Once again, y'all can just cancel the lies, baby. The black and white proves that Miss Moore's narratives are lies. That Larry begged for mediation, as you guys got to see here, court-appointed mediation, not request by defendant or plaintiff, but requested, created, suggested, and highly recommended by the courts themselves, okay? And that both parties agreed to dismiss. So this idea that Fupa was fighting, he didn't fight for a goddamn thing. He gave up like a shriveled, decrepit bitch, okay? All this wolf ticketing and thumb driving, I'm gonna take you down, and Larry, you don't want to sue me. You don't want to sue me, Larry. I won't have to do it to you, boy. I'm fighting for the victims, y'all. All the tears and all the whining and crying, and he did all that fluff once again. Acted bad, told really tall heroic tales. Now you know for a fact, according to the black and white in the case, baby, that Darryl Moore did not pick up a lick of fight in this here defamation suit, which was confirmed once again by Fred Middleton, his defense attorney, in his memorandum when he said that Darryl ran from discovery. Ran from discovery to the point that Fred Middleton could not even contact Darryl during the discovery. That this man made himself unavailable and ghosted his own attorney at a time where he was supposed to be submitting the thumb drive, at a time that he was supposed to be submitting the receptacles, at a time that he was supposed to be submitting all of the data and facts he screamed and belted he had to social media that he in fact had none of. This created irreconcilable differences between Fred Middleton and Darryl Downlord Gutter Anus Moore. So Fred Middleton petitioned the courts in his online findable memorandum to be terminated as Fupa's legal representation. Larry's attorney is going to come right behind that, as you're going to see soon. The parties, through their respective attorneys, shall dismiss with prejudice. Once again, y'all, we went over this with, y'all know what that with prejudice means. Closed case. Each of their respective claims and counterclaims. Okay? Fupa was the only one who had a counterclaim. He gave it up. Remember when he came on here talking about he was going to sue us for millions, me, breaking the culture of silence, Larry and David Fennell, baby, that we were all employees and he was suing us for millions because he had lost hundreds of thousands of dollars from his acting career. He was not casted after he had done dropped his booty hole on the casting couch. He had not been casted for F and D list roles, and he couldn't retain any work as a professional prop in Hollywood movies, even after he had done gave some of these wrinkled white men that everlasting, eternal, open throat on the casting couch because he was allegedly being defamed over the past few months. And what Fupa calls being defamed is somebody telling the whole goddamn godly truth about him. That's what he considers defamation, baby. When you get to speaking the facts, baby, you are defaming Miss Moore, baby. When you get to running the evidence and the play-by-play, and you get to running the PowerPoint, baby, he considers that to be defamation, sugar. He could not, blessed and book and busy, produce any facts for his own case. Marcellus, Kim, Roxanne, y'all are they more fucked than him. Because he had nothing. Nothing, according to his own attorney. And I'll bring that up at the end of this. And also according to Larry's attorney. So if Fupa Moore had nothing, guess what that means? That Shittling Chandler, PPP Loan Macmillan, and Roxanne the mustache wearing man has. That means they have absolutely nothing. Let's move along. The settlement agreement and the order provide that the court shall retain continuing jurisdiction to enforce the settlement agreement. So remember when I told you guys that this was better than an injunction? Because an injunction would have been a closed case. But the fact that Larry's lawyer got Fupa to submit to a gag order, it means that there remains a lifelong open relationship between Darryl and the federal court system. The settlement agreement and the order provide that the court shall retain continuing lifelong permanent jurisdiction to enforce the settlement agreement. This was the beauty of a gag order versus an injunction. Once again, the courts get to babysit Miss Moore. So while he thinking that flipping all these tables is going to get him back in front of the man he wants to love in such a homosexual way, is not. Every time he flips a table and every time he ends up in contempt, he will end up in front of Judge S. Gwynn and end up alone there. None of this inconveniences Larry, baby. While you behind bars, while you fighting for your life in federal court, Larry will be acting on those movies, sets. Larry will be in that studio producing gospel hits. Larry will be on his platform doing what he does best as a commentator and an entertainer. Larry will be in the pulpit and praying healing to babies and functionality and mobility to the handicap as a godly, spiritual, metaphysical man. While you are stuck on cell block 8 getting butt fucked and washing Big Dick Derrick's drawers for 30 days. In no way, baby, am I going to ever let you forget, Miss Gutter Anus Moore, that you are the one who suffers. As much as you want this and what you're going through to affect everybody else, it only impacts you. Only you. And you mad about it. And we gagged about it. Let's continue, class. Let's continue, honey. Almost, hold on, let me check my chat. What's going on? I hope they don't come on and doing another live. Oh, chat, ain't nobody listening to them, folk. Conscious descriptions of Roxanne tickles my entire tickle box, not Big Dick Derrick's dirty draws, period. I hope they don't come on. Okay, ain't nothing going on. Y'all are here. Okay, let's do it, honey. Let's continue on, honey. Oh, I wanted to say this too. It's the season holidays, you guys. This is the season of giving. So if any of you guys are in need, and if any of you guys want to contribute to anybody's needs, if you want to throw somebody some coin just because the spirit has moved you, everybody is welcome to put their Cash App in the stream. And if you feel led to donate to anybody whose Cash App you see in the live stream, you are more than welcome to. So everybody, including the mods, including the Bushwatchers, including any other Conscious crew members, including any active participants in the stream, if you have a PayPal and or a Cash App, you are welcome to drop it. This is the Christmas season, okay? And if anybody feels led, you can donate in silence and private to any Cash App, PayPal link you see being filtered through the stream. Okay, let's continue to move, y'all. Moore's immediate and ongoing violation of the order. Almost immediately, listen up, y'all. Almost immediately, defendant Moore breached the settlement agreement. He remains in breach as of this filing. An unsolicited email sent by Moore to undersigned counsel, which is the attorney here, that was received while this memorandum was being drafted, strongly suggests that Moore has repudiated the settlement agreement on specious grounds, intends not to abide by it. So remember when I said earlier on that FUPA accidentally fucked around, or maybe even intentionally emailed his attorney this idea about appealing mediation, which is not possible. But he also emailed Larry's attorney. Okay? This is what the unsolicited email sent by Moore is to the undersigned counsel. And Larry's attorney is saying that this suggests, it indicates to him that Miss Moore clearly is not interested in being obedient, especially since, as of Wednesday, December 22nd, 6:37 p.m., he's still in contempt of court. As noted, the settlement agreement imposed a deadline on the parties. All parties agreed to remove from the internet any content referring or relating to their adversaries in this case, no later than December 20th, 2021 at 5 p.m. They also agreed that after that date and time, they would refrain from publishing any online content referring or relating to their adversaries and the adversaries in this case in any forum whatsoever. When the appointed time to act arrived, Moore had not removed all of the content related to Larry Reid from Moore's YouTube channels. 2 hours after the appointed time has passed, Moore live streamed a new video, roughly a half an hour in length, discussing this litigation and his motives for settlement and claiming that he published what he did about Larry in an effort to expose wrongdoing. The new video does not appear to be archived or available for replay on Moore's YouTube channel because the punk deleted it after he had done fucked up royally. The same cannot be said of dozens of videos that name Reid in their titles and repeat the allegations that were the initial basis for this case have been filed. Listed below are the titles of a non-exhaustive list of those videos with the date of their initial publication. The continued publication of these new videos on YouTube was confirmed by undersigned counsel on December 21st of 2021. Several others with Reid in the title were also available. So here it is. The attorneys are saying, hey, we went and did the legwork and verified an exhaustive list of videos that are still up. And these are just videos with Larry's name in it that are still up. That's not even including all of the content where Larry is mentioned where his name is not captioned at. And that's not including everywhere else, as you saw in the gag order. This applies across all his social medias, okay? All of them. He's in extreme contempt of court. Here it is, you see, the lawyer lists all of the links, etc. November the 30th, 29th, September the 3rd, August the 27th, 23rd, June the 30th, etc. Okay? It goes on to list more and more and more and more videos mentioning Larry, even videos about Consciouztv where Larry's name is mentioned and titled in, etc. Okay? It goes on to say that this non-exhaustive list is more than sufficient to demonstrate that Moore has not abided by the settlement agreement and left online content he was required to take down. It also puts the lie to the claim made in his December 20th, 2021 live stream video that he would remove his online content regarding Reid by midnight and evening, and did not, even though he was already in contempt because it was for 5 p.m., not 12 midnight. But even after he self-imposed and gave himself a deadline, aside from the one the courts gave, that was defiant and in contrast to the court's date, he didn't even make good on his own self-imposed date of midnight. Okay? The lawyer goes to list all of those videos that are up. Now we're going to get into this email, y'all. The lawyer submits the email to the courts. Moore sends a bizarre email to undersigned counsel while live streaming a video on YouTube disparaging Reid and the settlement agreement. This lawyer is not playing with Darryl's ass, baby. He laid it out that this nigga literally can be found in no other than contempt. It's explicit, A+ across the board, broad daylight, no stone was left unturned contempt. Exactly, Juju. So it says that, where was it? Okay, yes. The conclusion that Moore will repudiate the settlement agreement is supported by an unusual email sent by Moore to his attorney, and on which Moore copied the undersigned, which is him, the attorney in this case, received while this here memorandum was being drafted up. So while this lawyer was in his office writing all of this up to petition to the courts, Darryl breaks client, attorney, confidentiality, etc., by making direct contact with this here attorney, which he's not allowed to do. In that email, Moore claims he was deceived into settling by dint of having been denied material information during the course of litigation. Now, mind you, this man claims he was deceived, y'all, and denied material information during the course of litigation. There was nothing for him to be denied of because he was the defendant, not the plaintiff. The man is delusional. The man is the defendant in this case and believed that in some way the burden of Larry proving his innocence was on Larry. No, baby. You were the only one burdened with having to prove that you weren't guilty of all 77 of these grievances. You as a defendant are not even in a position to be deceived because you are the defendant. Larry owes you nothing. Larry's only job was to sit back and make you prove you didn't say these things. You didn't allege these things. You didn't claim these things about him. You cannot be deceived into settling by dint of having been denied material that you weren't even entitled to because there was no material that was obligated to you by the plaintiff. You are here to fight for your innocence. The plaintiff is asking you to prove it. That's your posture. So that was a preposterous position for Ms. Moore to take. Let's continue. The claim appears connected to an allegation in Moore's counterclaim that a third-party YouTuber, Davion Augustus, is employed. Baby, this man just will not let go of, and this is why Larry had to offer me employment. These hoes just they willing to literally speak a job into my lap. That allegation is false, and Reid said as much during the mediation. Nonetheless, Moore wrote the following, okay? This is a transcript of the email that FUPA sent last night to his attorney and to Larry's. Please file a motion immediately. I was asked to do this mediation under false pretenses. Larry Reid is falsely using the courts and his financial backing to squash the truth from being revealed. Now, let's put a pin in it right here just real quick. This man had an opportunity to show up and prove that Larry was a molester, that Larry had tax evasion, that Larry had frauded the government, that Larry was a cheater and committed multiple infidelities on his ex-wife, that Larry domestically abused his ex-wife, that Larry domestically abused his mother. He had an opportunity to prove that Larry had homosexual secret lovers that he paid off to not speak and to go into hiding. He had an opportunity to prove that Larry had 50,011,000 bankruptcies when I think Larry only had one or two. Fupa Moore exaggerated all of that. That Larry had taken out a PPP loan for $70,000, and you can go into the PPP loan search engine and find out by first and last name who actually did take out a PPP loan. None of those things were actually true. And this man forfeited discovery, as you guys already knew, based upon what Fupa's own attorney had said in his petitioning to withdraw from the case, that his client was unfindable during discovery, something that is highly unusual, right? Especially concerning a defendant who already was taunting the fact that he was more than willing and well prepared to go into court with all of this explicit evidence to bring Larry down. But according to Fupa's own attorney, his own client was unfindable, was on mute during discovery. And yet, here it is, Mrs. Moore, after he signs a gag order for lies that he can't turn into truths, he's angry and wants to file a motion immediately under false pretenses that Larry is falsely using the courts and his financial backing to squash the truth from being revealed. But you were the one with the thumb drive. You were the one who had an opportunity provided to you by this lawsuit to actually submit your findings. So how in the hell did Larry use the courts and his financial backing to keep you from submitting the damn truth you claim you had for years? Lies you spun for years. What in the hell does Larry's money have to do with your God-given opportunity to show up in discovery and don't? And after you get mad as hell because you got to close your open throater, now you want to appeal a case that is closed and sealed with prejudice. Make it make sense. You can't make delusion make sense, baby. The video below was before the Monday deadline to sign the mediation agreement. Now, this is all out of Moore's email to his attorney, Fred, and to Larry's attorney, Raymond. Augustus brags in this video about kicking my ass and did for Larry and helping him with this case. Reid thanks him for his work. The judge and magistrate need to see this immediately. I have downloaded the video. They will try to hide this video. I think this mediation should be null and void. Now, as we know, CTV don't hide nothing. What we need to hide, baby. We consult our lawyers. We do things that are in alignment with our rights. And isn't that video still up, class? Didn't I just play that video yesterday for y'all? Because Ms. Moore is saying that Larry confessed that I was his employee. He literally committed perjury, blatantly lied to the courts. He's blatantly lying, saying that Larry confessed to something he offered. The reason why this gets even more delusional and strange is because Darryl acts as, so you submitted the video. Do you realize the courts have to actually then, or can choose to listen to it? Don't you know that when they do, they're going to see Larry offer a job to me, as a result of all y'all claiming I had been an employee when in fact I had not this entire time. So as a gift to me for work I chose to do out of the goodness and love and kindness of my heart, because you just a lying son of a bitch and somebody had to put the fork in your motherfucking pussy hole, and it certainly was gonna be me. You don't think Miss Mandy Medusa Moore that the courts, since you sent them the video, are going to be able to hear for themselves what you did not? You actually had the nerve to submit the video as incriminating evidence that Larry confessed that I indeed was an employee when it was the complete opposite, and then you had the unmitigated gall to throw your own ass under the bus by submitting the actual video for the courts to hear for themselves that you just lied and committed perjury intentionally, because that is not what was stated. I'm talking about this is a Flintstone-minded bitch. Hey, Gary Prime, what's going on, sir? Flintstone-minded. What? Now, if I'm an employee, right, how come the narrative was never that Roxanne, the mustache-wearing man, Shitterling Chandler, and PPP Long Macmillan wasn't FUPA's employees? Well, the reason why that narrative never got off the ground is because we know that FUPA was too goddamn broke to have employees, for one. So it was a narrative that wouldn't have been able to stick. Okay? But if I and David Fennell and Breaking the Culture of Silence are employees, then easily that means that Roxanne the mustache wearing man, Triple Chin Chandler, and PPP Long Crenshaw Living Macmillan are also your employees. But you submitted something with the intent to lie. Just blatantly lied to the courts and then submitted the truth at the same time. This is what the Bible calls a double-minded bitch. A reprobate, double-minded man who will stumble in all of his ways. Talks out of both sides of his pussy hole. Let's continue. I have downloaded this video. They will try to hide this video that is still up. I think this mediation should be null and void. This is what he thinks, y'all. This man is treating the federal courts like his parents. I think I shouldn't be on punishment. I don't think this punishment I should be on. I don't think I should have to have my cell phone and my PS4 taken away from me. This man is so trivial-minded. He has such arrested development. If this is not the blazing God-given glory truth about how demented, delusional, immature-minded, raggedy, and just crazy and deranged this nigga is, coupled with just 2 years of all of that, I mean, this just bears it all out. This man's conduct in this whole thing bears out the fact that something is neurologically wrong. Something is chemically wrong. Let's continue to go. I have the official. Oh, baby, let me tell you, baby. Baby, Miss Moore about to get the fuck out of y'all. If y'all think this couldn't get no worse, if y'all think this man couldn't get more self-sabotaging, what he did, what he said next in the email, baby, literally blew it was legal suicide. If not submitting a video that tells the truth while you pitch it under a false narrative was not perjury in and of itself. He directly incriminates himself like a self-sabotaging maniac does when he says, you guys, that I have the official copy of the transcript from the deposition to prove that Larry said he didn't know Augustus. He has been working with Augustus all along. This man is a liar that must be stopped. He wanted to squash the story from the three accusers about his allegations of child molestation and infecting one of them with HIV. Now, mind you, the HIV allegations aren't even listed in the lawsuit because the lawsuit was written up before those allegations even got made. So FUPA is lying for that. Nowhere in the 77 grievances do you see the word HIV, AIDS, or anything. Larry also dispelled that by presenting two STI tests. Everything in his penis is clean. Okay? Everything. He was accused of having HIV by the third raggedy power country bottom out of North Carolina in 2014. All of Larry's STI tests come back non-reactive. Whoopsie! But an allegation that wasn't even initiated into this lawsuit to begin with. As you guys read from the top of this here memorandum, you saw that this man was being sued by multiple offenses and allegations and defamations, and yet he's still holding to this idea and telling himself, for whatever delusional reason he is, that this is about the allegations regarding the three accusers, when only one of them, in fact, even accused Larry of doing something he, in fact, did not do. And the first accuser didn't even want to make Larry prove that he didn't do it. And then on top, to make matters worse, this nigga admitted to the courts that he has a official, in all caps. This how God is helping this nigga to fall completely down into the pits of hell. He admits to having a official verified copy of a transcript from a deposition that he illegally obtained. Because the deposition that he's referencing is from the E. Dewey litigation against Larry Reid back in 2020 that he illegally obtained. That deposition is a private and secure and sealed deposition because it holds Larry's social security number, addresses, bank statements, banking information. And this dumb Flintstone-minded nigga admitted to the courts that he has a official copy of a illegally obtained transcript from the you can't make this shit up, y'all. You can, girl, if I wasn't in all of this, if I didn't see all this, if I was just coming into all this, I could not believe it. It's literally that over the top. This is that over the top. Everything about the way this man moves is over the top. The level of stupidity, the degree of idiotness, the extremity of the moron-minded is unbelievable, even though I know and have seen and can read and have witnessed for myself this be the truth. It is so extreme that it's still unbelievable. It's still right, B code. It's still unbelievable. y'all, you gotta cleanse yourself after this level of unsmartness. I can't even call it stupid. It's something that transcends dumb. It's something that transcends just. It's all. Let's go. Let's just keep on. Let's keep on moving, girl. Let's continue to take the journey, child. None of this is true. Now, this is now the attorney stepping in after you just read Darryl's email last night to his attorney and Larry's. None of this is true, but even if it were, it would not affect the finality nor the validity of the settlement agreement that Moore signed on December the 17th, 2021. Because guess what? FUPA is arguing a point that's irrelevant. Me and Larry's friendship is not up for a question in this case. You made it your business and your counterclaim to claim that I was employed, not whether I was his friend. And even back in the Dewey days, you don't know what the hell I was to Larry. Because when I was covering the E. Dewey case, I was doing it as a content creator. That's not synonymous with the degree of friendship that exists or don't exist between people. Content creators pick up stories every day. That's not indicative that they're in a relationship of any kind, of any degree. That does not in any kind of way measure any interpersonal proximity that the content creator has to the source of the story. Irrelevant point, which is why the lawyer is saying if it were, it would not affect the finality nor the validity of the settlement agreement that Moore signed on December the 17th. In it, he waived, Miss Gutter Anus Moore waived any and all claims that he had brought or might have brought against Reid in the subject litigation, including the allegations regarding Augustus, which were set forth in Moore's counterclaim. Remember earlier on in this memorandum, it stated that Moore, in signing and agreeing to the gag order, that disintegrated his counterclaim. Now he's trying to come back and reiterate things he made in a case that has been concluded with prejudice, while willingly signing over and waiving the illegitimacy of his own counterclaim. That was a part of the gag order. And then tried to use a video from 2 days ago where Larry offered me a PR position and submitted to the court under the falsity that Larry confessed that I had been his employee this whole time. Let's read, y'all. In it, he waived any and all claims that he had brought or might have brought against Reid in the subject litigation, including the allegations regarding Augustus, which were set forth in Moore's counterclaim. In consideration of the terms and promises set forth in Section C5 of the settlement agreement, Moore hereby releases all claims, demands, rights, and or causes of action he now has or may have had against Reid, LRL, and either or both of them, which occurred at any point prior to the execution of the settlement. The lawyer is laying it out. What Moore forfeited, left behind, and agreed to as it relates to the gag order, which was the release, the divorcing, the goodbye to all claims, demands, rights, and or causes of actions he now has or may have had against Reid, his company, and either or both of them, which occurred at any point prior to the execution of this settlement agreement, which you also heard out of FUPA's own mouth when he was in contempt of court in the first video, and said himself, which I read from the transcript of the video yesterday, of him saying that he and Larry agreed to go their separate ways. Larry was already in a separate way. So this is not only something that he verified during mediation, that he then had an opportunity to look over and actually sign in written form on the 17th, but it's also something he reiterated on December the 20th in a live stream he was not supposed to do, mentioning Larry, that put him in contempt of court, but nonetheless verified and clarified and was lucid about what he signed. So it's a no for the courts, Ms. Fupa. Moore signed the settlement agreement and represented in doing so that he had the opportunity to consult with his attorney, who also signed it. Bloop. Each person signing the settlement agreement represents and warrants that he has been duly authorized and has direct, requisite, I think I fucked that word up, authority to execute and deliver this settlement agreement on behalf of and bind the respective parties to its terms and conditions, and has done so of his own free will and without coercion or duress. Without, okay, key word, coercion and duress. Okay? Once again, the lawyer is laying out. This bitch had an opportunity to look over, even had an opportunity to mediate. That was the purpose of mediation. Mediation lasted for 4.5 hours. Okay? Then you had an opportunity days after a 4.5 hour mediation where you had an opportunity to feel and say and suggest anything you wanted, but later saw the written up gag order by Larry's attorney, and your own attorney signed it, and you signed it and sent it back. And then came on live on the 20th, days after signing it, after already mediating over it, and told your own 14 subscribers what you and Larry agreed to do. So this man is all out playing in the face of the courts, obstructing justice, spinning narratives, and this is all willful behavior. Each party represents and warrants that he or she or it has full authority and capacity to release and discharge the matter set forth herein on its behalf, and has had an opportunity to consult with its counsel and professional advisors regarding this settlement. Meaning, and this is why the case is with prejudice. Both Larry and Darryl had ample opportunity to vet through, to go back and forth, to mediate, to frisbee back and forth, to customize this thing to whatever liking. Both were given the opportunity to do so. This is the point. This is the point. So the courts are establishing that the system is designed to be so overly accommodating that by the time parties sit down and agree to something, it's absolute. Nobody can argue that they were in distress or duress or were coerced or manipulated or any kind of way didn't quite understand. You had opportunity to mediate. You had opportunity to ask questions to the magistrate. You had opportunity to consult your legal representation again and again and again and again and again and again and again before you said yes orally, and before you, in written form and fashion, agreed to as well. I need to quench my throat real quick. Once again, if you guys are in the building, please give me a old nasty piece of thumbs up, honey. I'm drying my super soaker out, baby, with all this reading, child. If you have a Cash App, PayPal, you are welcome to put it in the stream. If you feel led to give to anyone whose Cash App information and or PayPal information is in the live stream, you are more than welcome to. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you from the Conscious Crew platform. Let's continue to read. Finally, as to deception, Moore can hardly complain that he was denied information to which he was entitled during litigation. He was provided with initial disclosures, though he never denied to make initial disclosures to the plaintiff. So not only have you heard it officially from his own attorney in his own attorney's memorandum that FUPA was on mute, he did not participate, show up in any way, shape, or form for discovery, which is where you present your explicit evidence to win your defense, but that's coupled with Larry's attorney, who's also on the inside of this case and participated in these litigations between both parties. You're hearing it now from him in conjunction with FUPA's attorney. I mean, look, if any bitch after today don't get it, if any of these weirdo assholes on the internet, nobody now can claim that anything FUPA said or did has any legitimacy because his ass is being dragged and aired out and exposed for his lack of works by the courts and the attorneys themselves, including his own. Any bitch now who wants to tell another story is literally, willfully, falsely testifying and narrating and doing it intentionally. Any motherfucking bitch who don't get it is a bitch who willfully don't want to get it and is willfully lying and is willfully deciding to disregard the facts about the case in place of a narrative with the expectation of a click and a view. The facts are in the blacks and all of the whites. He was provided with initial disclosures, though he never deemed, I still don't understand that word, to make initial disclosures to the plaintiff. He served no notice, no depositions, and served no subpoenas. FUPA did nothing but say, I agree to shut the hell up as a nigga who is in fact completely and utterly guilty. Are you guys reading this? I need you guys to respond to the chat. I need you guys to respond to in the chat. Are you guys hearing? Are you guys hearing the facts? He served no discover. He noticed no depositions and served no subpoenas. This man did not defend himself in any which way, shape, or form. He did nothing. All this shit about Larry wanted to suppress. This man ran from this case. This man tried to get this entire case dismissed multiple times under the guise that Larry should be suing the accusers. But once again, forgetting that he himself is being sued for 70 other things beside the power bottoms he gave a platform to. Did not serve anything at all. Finally, as to deception, okay? The attorney's calling this bitch out. Moore can hardly complain. Oh, I read that. The third-party video to which he refers did not exist at the time of settlement and says nothing anything about Reid's knowledge or intent. So thank you, Fupa, for actually submitting the video so that the judge and the courts and the attorneys could hear for themselves that you are a lying piece of perjury submitting shit. As this memorandum was being drafted, Moore began to live stream a video on YouTube that undersigned counsel watched in part, but which is no longer available. In it, Moore disparaged the settlement agreement as a gag order and made various negative references to Reid and his supporters. These communications indicate that Moore does not intend to honor the agreement. The relief requested. The settlement agreement clearly has been breached and is being breached openly. I think I read this earlier, but I think it's in here again. Openly, the plaintiffs thereby moved the court to enter an order compelling Moore to abide by its terms, given the court has retained jurisdiction and babysitting responsibilities for that purpose. This here court, federal, has the power to enforce a settlement voluntarily concluded between the parties in cases such as this, in which jurisdiction has been retained for that purpose. The lawyer goes on to cite various cases in support of the courts bypassing evaluation of the case and just getting to the goddamn punishment. No need to ask Moore to come in to defend his stuff, Your Honor. No need to hear him spin any narrative, baby. He is in such violation that we can just get straight to the sentencing, baby. We can just get straight to the fining and the restitution, as we have done in Miller versus Prompt, okay? As ThermoScan versus ThermoScan, as in. A district court may enforce a settlement agreement without an evidentiary hearing when it concludes that agreement has been reached on all materials. No hearing is necessary when the record shows that all of the essential terms has been agreed upon in open court, and all that remained was to sort out the non-material details and put the agreement into writing, which was signed off on by Fupa and his attorney on the 17th. This is the case here. The settlement terms to which the parties agreed were put on the record by Magistrate Judge Greenberg and taken down by a court reporter, okay? Verified and clarified by witnesses and all, baby. There's no way for Fupa doesn't have an argument. There's literally not an excuse. None. There is none. He can't claim dumb. He can't claim coercion. He can't claim just can't do it. Won't do it. It's not possible. They created the system in a way that is not possible. And now it's also with a prejudice. No appeal. No nothing. It is what it is. The parties and their counsel recited the material terms of the settlement and acknowledged that they agreed to them. Settlement agreements are contracts and subject to construction under the law of the forum state in which they are concluded. When the material terms of a contract are unambiguous, Ohio law requires that they be enforced as written. Ohio legal standards for the interpretation of contracts are well established. We seek primarily to give effect to the intent of the parties, and we presume that the intent of the parties is reflected in the plain language of the contract. As a result, if the language of a contract is plain and unambiguous, we enforce the terms as written, and we may not turn to evidence outside the four corners of the contract to alter its meaning. The terms of settlement agreement are unambiguous. Moore agreed to take down all internet content under his control that refers to or relates to Reid. He did not do so. Moore agreed to refrain from publishing content online that refers or relates to Reid after 5 p.m. on the 20th of December. He has violated that agreement twice in 25 hours to be exact. Plaintiffs respectfully move the court to order Moore to remove the content he agreed to remove in the settlement agreement, enjoin Moore from publishing online content relating to or referring to Reid as specified in the settlement agreement, and declare that Moore has violated the terms of the settlement agreement through the actions and inactions described herein. The plaintiffs also respectfully move for an award of attorney fees in connection with the preparation of this motion. This is consistent with both Ohio law, and courts in this judicial district have rewarded fees under such circumstances below. He goes to give his references. The matter was settled. A reputational nightmare for Larry Reid was supposed to have ended yesterday. That would have been December the 20th at 5 p.m. The defendant has violated the agreement with savage disregard for Reid's rights and his own responsibilities. Plaintiffs urgently move the court to act. Signed and sealed by the attorneys at hand. Certificate of compliance. The undersigned certificate that this document complies with the requirements of LR Civ 7.1 in that exclusive of appendices. Each of the statement checked below is true. The first one is checked. It relates to a non-depositive motion and is less than 15 pages long. Signed and submitted. Certificate of service. The foregoing was filed today, Wednesday, December 22nd of 2021, via the court electronic filing system. Service will be made upon counsel of record by, and copies of this filing may be obtained through operation of the CMECF system. Settlement agreement and release of claims. The settlement agreement and release of claims is hereby voluntarily entered by the following persons and entities: Larry D. Reid, a natural person and a resident of Atlanta, Fulton County, Georgia. Individually, Larry Reid Live LLC, a limited liability company organized and operating under the laws of the state of Georgia, and Darryl Moore, a natural person and a resident of Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, Ohio. The parties entered this agreement and contract on behalf of themselves and each on behalf of his or her or its respective heirs, assigns, subrogés, attorneys, agents, and or successors in interest in any person or entity entitled to assert any claim, right, or action by, through, or on behalf of them under statute or common law on any basis whatsoever. Okay? Let me see here if I need to, because baby, it's a lot, baby. It's a lot. Okay, we don't need to go past that, honey. That's reiterating. Definitions. Okay, here we go, girl. Now let's get into the gag order. Let's get into the details. A natural fool. I'm screaming. I am screaming. I just love to hear you. Oh, thank you, Miss Miller. I'm sorry, but I'm not amused by his shenanigans. D. Moore is clearly under demonic influence. Now, this is sheriff's hands now, period. Okay? CTV, get you a hot title after this, because we... What? Our social media has a layer on them. Yeah, period, Johnson. Okay, so let's continue to roll, y'all. Let's get to the definition. Internet shall mean. Okay, so this is now details from the gag order that are now made public, that would have been concealed had Darryl not fucked up and fucked around and activated the truth against his ass. Because he's been trying to spin narratives, baby. The internet shall mean the international interconnected network of computer networks which permit information to be shared and accessed through the internet protocol suite and the programs and protocols associated therewith, and shall be read broadly to embrace all common usage of that term. World Wide Web shall mean the universe of web pages, files, and other intelligence and content that may be accessed via the internet using hyperlinks, uniform references locators, and other means through the use of web browsers and applications designed to facilitate the location and retrieval of such information, and shall be read broadly to embrace all common usages of that term. YouTube shall mean the video streaming and sharing service operated by YouTube, which is a subsidiary of Google LLC, in the content on which may be accessed through the web at the URL www.youtube.com. Blog shall mean a website or social media account where a user posts videos that may be accessed and viewed via the web. Blog shall mean a website or social media account where a user posts a text, video, still images, or other content that may be accessed and viewed via the web. 6. Social media shall mean technologies that facilitate the creation and sharing of information, ideas, interests, and other forms of expression through virtual communities and networks wherein one user posts or uploads information that thereafter may be accessed and viewed by other users. Social media sites and providers include, without limitation, 4chan, Acon, Reddit, DeviantArt, Discord, Duolingo, Facebook, Flick, Gab, Goodreads, Google Hangouts, not Grindr, y'all. Hello, ICQ, Instagram, LinkedIn, Meetup, MeWe, Nearby, Nextdoor, Parler, Pinterest, Quora, SoundCloud, Snapchat, Stack Overflow, TikTok, Tumblr, Twitch, Twitter, Weibo, WhatsApp, Whisper, WordPress, YouTube, and etc. Because remember, not limited to those, baby. Those are just references, baby. Of course, the internet is infinite, baby. So not limited. But to give you an idea. Woo, child. Whew. Okay. Where am I? User-generated content shall mean any video, audio, still image, artwork, text, interactive text, multimedia presentation, slideshow, achieve, collection of hyperlinks, comments, responses to comments, moderated discussions, advertisements, solicitations, or other forms of intelligence or information that may be accessed through the web, including without limitation material posted to or accessible via social media. Live stream shall mean to broadcast a video via the web and or internet while it is being created, as opposed to after it has been recorded, including via YouTube, whether or not the video and or its associated content is available for later retrieval by members of the public or specifically authorized persons once it has been streamed. He's messed up, baby. Metadata shall mean any part that provides information about a computer or digital file but does nor form a part of the content of the file in which it relates. Comments shall mean any remarks, comments, or reactions posted on YouTube in connection with a given video by viewers of that video, whether posted live during its first streaming or afterwards. Comments, remarks, or reactions. Let me tell you why this is dangerous. Because not only does it mean that FUPA has to not only sweep his social media platforms of everything Larry Reid related, textually, audibly, visually, etc., but once again, he has to scrummage through all across this internet, wherever he's been for 2 years, talking about Larry. That also means comments he's replied to on other people's pages. Anybody's comments he's hearted. That's why I said that he can't do it. That nigga will have to just delete it all in order to get around us. There is no way for him to meticulously filter through and put a fine-tooth comb. It's too nuanced. It's too much interaction over a 2-year time span that can't be accounted for at this point. The only way he will be able to do it is to delete it all. There is no going through one by one. But could you imagine the courts requiring you to do what FUPA is being required and made to do? Could you imagine thinking about where the hell you've been in 2 years in the comments you done replied to about somebody. You arguing with somebody under somebody else's post. You having to remember where you been for 2 years. You having to remember comments you done hearted on across all social medias. Any interactive Twitter thread you talked about a person in. I mean, could you imagine? It's not possible. It ain't possible. It's impossible, baby. Impossible. Not in. Baby. I am possible. Oh, that is impossible. Impossible, baby. Let's continue to go. Interactive viewer comments shall mean comments posted to a YouTube channel while a video is being streamed on that channel, to which a channel owner may reply in real time. Keywords shall mean metadata added to a YouTube or other online video to facilitate it appearing in response to a query to an interest search engine such as Google. Relatives shall mean persons related to the party in question through blood or marriage unto the second degree of kinship. His wife, son, daughter, mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, grandmammy, grandpappy, cousin, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, father-in-law, or mother-in-law. It shall also extend to any persons residing in the principal residence of the party in question, regardless of kinship. Baby, fucked. Employee, how? Oh, they don't like this kind of teaching. Shall mean any person who is paid by the party in question on a full or part-time basis, including the persons who are routinely or repeatedly hired or contracted with to perform the same or similar services on more than one occasion, and shall be read broadly to include persons whose compensation is reported to the Internal Revenue Service or either IRS Form W-2 or IRS Form 1099. You can't make it up, baby. Bitch, I gotta breathe, honey. A bitch is reading. Right, binary code. The takedown shall mean to remove from online access the fullest extent possible so as to make access unavailable via the internet and or the web any and all of the following: all user-generated content, comments, interactive comments, keywords, metadata, text, video files, audio files, blogs, social media content, images, drawings, hyperlinks, indices, and other information of any sort. This term shall be construed broadly and read to impose an affirmative obligation on the parties and each of them to remove such materials and render them inaccessible and unavailable with deliberate speed and much damn diligence. Woo! Relate and any variant thereof shall mean to mention, constitute, contain, summarize, describe, concern, refer to, allude to, or address in any way the subject matter thereof. Remember yesterday? I can talk about Larry. I just can't talk about him on social media. No, the fuck you can't, bitch. I can talk about Larry. I just can't talk about him on social media. No, the like hell you can, bitch. You better read this clear. You signed on it, girl. So you saw all this. You saw all now what is made available, baby. You better read section 16, baby. Situation 16, baby. Under that relate and any variant thereof. Relating, related, relates, relating to shall mean to mention, constitute, contain, summarize, describe, concern, refer, allude to, or address in any goddamn way the subject matter thereof. Baby, the Fupa-tonians better tell that bitch what he acting like he don't know. You better go tell your master, bitch, that no like hell you can't, bitch, consult the press. You can't write it in a book, bitch. You can't put it in the invisible man, ho. You can't do a goddamn thing that relates to Larry D. Reid. Party or parties adverse to them shall mean, when applied to Reid and or LRL, defendant Moore, and when applied to Moore shall mean plaintiffs Reid and or LRL. Principal terms, on or before the end of business, no later, not midnight, baby, no later than 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, December the 20th, 21. The parties and each of them shall take down any and all content which they have published via the internet and or web, which means subject to their control, that in any way mentions, involves, describes, refers, relates to, involves, or pertains to the party or parties adverse to them in this litigation. Make it make sense. Make it make all of the damn sense. Ray, don't you make me fall out this damn computer chair. Don't you make me fall out this chair, young woman. Don't you make me fall out of this chair, baby mother. Fupa's new favorite show is going to be Reading Things Larry's Way. My mother loving Lord. He don't like this kind of teaching, baby. Somebody better let her know. This baby think he about to go speak to press and it's going to be all right. Bad. Let's keep moving. Now, this is what y'all are hearing and reading is what Moore signed. He signed off on all this. This is what he signed on December the 17th along with his attorney. Moore shall take down all such content regarding Reid, LRL, both of them, as well as any of their relatives and or employees. Reid and LRL and each of them shall take down all such content regarding Moore and or his relatives and employees. Once taken down, the content shall never be made available online via the internet or on the web. The parties, each and all of them, shall forever refrain from creating, publishing, and or distributing via the internet and or the web content, user-generated content, comments, interactive comments, metadata, keywords, hyperlinks, indices, and any other information that in any way mentions, involves, describes, refers, relates, involves, or pertains to any of the following. The party or parties adverse to them in this litigation, any relative of a party adverse to them in this litigation, or any employee of a party adverse to them in this litigation. The parties, each and all of them, shall forever refrain from visiting, contacting, or communicating with any of the following. The party or parties adverse to them in this litigation, any relative of a party adverse to them in this litigation, or any employee of a party adverse to them in this litigation. For purposes of this provision, contacting and visiting shall be read to include appearing or lingering. Lord have mercy. Include appearing or lingering at or loitering near. Y'all, I didn't even know this was in here. Wow. So you know what that means, y'all? That means that if I decide to become PR for Larry, Fupa ain't gonna be able to tap me on my shoulder and have a conversation with me, boy. I mean, he ain't gonna do that now. But not only can he do it, he can't do it now. He won't be able to do it. And on top of me putting the motherfucking chainsaw to the back of the front of his motherfucking neck when he decides he want to stroll down my dirt road, he has the luxury of also being completely reprimanded and forbidden to speak of even being around me, as he can't even speak of or taunt coming to see or being around or being in proximity to Larry D. Reid and any of his employees, families, and compadres. Wow. Restraining order. Let's talk about the order. For purposes of this baby, he signed all this, lawyer took the time and broke this shit down to this bitch. This is what him and his way put a John Hancock on. For purposes of this provision, contacting and visiting shall be read to include appearing or lingering at or loitering near the home, place of business, or place where work is being performed by any of the persons herein protected from communication and contact, whether or not the person in question is on site at the time. This means that this bitch can't even drive past the house no more. That means that this bitch can't even drive past the business office. That means that this bitch don't even have the luxury of doing what he did earlier this year, which is making sure Larry was in another state before he decided to pull up. And he can't do that regarding any family, any employees, next to kin, and not limited to blood and kinship. Oh no, ma'am, it's no more playing those reindeer games, because not only is it going to be a bow and arrow to the back of your motherfucking neck bone, bitch, you're going to be in prison, because this gag order is also a whole entire literal restraining order. And it's a permanent, lifelong one, my God almighty. Wow, 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 wow. That's why I read it, senior. Because not only did you have to read it and sign it, and your lawyer have to be in conjunction with that baby, but you also had the luxury of having it completely publicized all out on these internet streets, where you claim you look, listen, and respond to. Wow, 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 y'all. Wow, I had no idea this was an entire restraining order as well to protect Larry and his associates. Also physically. Wow. I had no idea. Wow. No wonder this bitch feels bamboozled. This lawyer locked his motherfucking ass up. Wow. Right, Claudia? David says Apostle hate him or whatever is a, and he only mess with geniuses. He only mess with the folk who got the smart parts. Only in your wet dreams. Tell him, she diarist. Wow, wow, wow. Oh yeah, he about to learn, Miss Miles. Wow. For all those coming in, y'all, we are reading the gag order that Darryl Moore and his attorney had to sign off on after they verbally and orally also agreed to the conditions of. And what we are now discovering is not only is this a gag order, meaning that he can't speak of or publish anything Larry Reid Live related, along with any associate under Larry regarding family, employees, etc. But this is also a restraining order, a protective order for Larry and everybody he's associated with that falls under the umbrella of this here gag order. God damn it. Wow. Hold on. I got to take that in. Wow. Baby, this is not a order. It is the everlasting mother. Baby, y'all better let Fupa ass know. Y'all content creators who covering the story, baby. Y'all need to read the new upload from Pacer or wherever you retrieve your paperwork regarding this case, and put it in bold caps in the video Not only is Darryl gagged the hell up, but he is also forbidden and prohibited from making any type of physical contact. He can't skip a loo down the street. He can't drive past any associated property of Larry nor his associates. My God. Wow. I was not expecting that. That is fucking epic. Wow. I'm going to read that again. For purposes of this provision, contacting and visiting shall be read to include appearing or lingering at or loitering near the home place of business or place where work is being performed by any other persons herein protected from communication and contact, whether or not the person in question is on site at the time, whether they in the church, whether they at the house, whether they at the place of business or not, makes him in violation. That means that he can't even try to secretly drive by and then get online and brag about it, because rather Larry and his associates are at their respected homes, at their respected businesses, his ass will be in contempt of court and have breached a whole entire protective order, coangled and in conjunction with this gag order. My God. The parties through their respective attorneys shall dismiss with prejudice each of their respective claims, for the bitches in the back once again, and counterclaims. This why Fupa tried to reiterate his counterclaim after agreeing to drop the counterclaim by signing off on the mediation agreement, which was the gag order, which is why the case is sealed and with prejudice. No, ma'am. Cannot be retried, revised, revisited. You're done. Against the party or parties adverse to them by causing a joint stipulated entry of dismissal with prejudice to be filed in the subject litigation no later than 5 p.m. Eastern Standard on Monday. In consideration of the terms and promises set forth in Section C6 of this settlement agreement, Reid LRL, and each of them hereby release all claims, demands, rights, and or causes of action they now have or may have had against Moore, which occurred at any point prior to the execution of this here settlement agreement, whether known or unknown, asserted or unasserted, vested or contingent, and whether sounding in law or in equity. Reid and LRL do so for themselves, their heirs, assigns, attorneys, successors, and interest agents, and any and all persons or entities claiming or asserting an interest for, by, or through them in their respected names or on their behalf. Baby, how long we been here? I don't even, the rest of this is fall by the wayside, y'all. I think we have read enough to have a full idea that this nigga has no wiggle room. This lawyer wrote his ass up, binded his ass up like a good Wiccan would, baby. This is a perfect spell casting. He binded this bitch up like Nancy, baby. Nancy. You will not harm yourself or bring no harm to others. Nancy, you will not bring no harm to yourself or no others. Nancy, baby. Y'all saw the movie The Craft, baby. When the good witch binded Nancy's old left-hand path ass. This attorney binded this bitch up for eternity. Wow. Let's scroll here, honey. Wow. Oh, additional terms. The attorneys, he reiterates, the parties acknowledge, understand, and agree this settlement agreement is the product of negotiations between them and their respective attorneys. This is what Fupa signed, y'all. He signed off on all of this, including number 5, under additional terms. The parties are acknowledging and understand and agree that this here settlement agreement is the product of negotiations between them and their respective attorneys. And that through their respective counsel, the parties have contributed to the content of this settlement agreement. The parties agree that any rule of contract construction that requires ambiguities in this settlement agreement to be constructed against the drafter hereof will not be applicable in any dispute regarding the terms of this settlement, baby. This is essentially a deal with the devil. That's how like absolute it is. It's literally written into the gag order that you, and see, here's the thing. Y'all know most black people, we simply don't read. And guess who don't give a fuck that we don't read the contracts we sign? Guess who don't give a fuck that we don't read the labels, the record labels, the music labels that we sign to? The law doesn't give a damn. If you didn't burden yourself, instead of being online for 14 goddamn days, talking shit, letting bitches sit next to you and spinning narratives, you wasn't down here scrubbing your channel and making sure that you understood what the fuck you were signing. If you chose to spend 14 days in any other way than sitting your ass down and going line by line, precept by precept through 52 pages of a gag order / protective order, guess whose fault that is? On top of you having an attorney that Judge S. Gwynn was nice enough to bind to your ass, whether you had insurance or money to even pay him. So you not only had 2 weeks to go through this gag order, protective order yourself, but you had an attorney to consult with if you were confused, if you had questions. You was in mediation for 4.5 hours during the construction of this here gag order, protective order, and did not contest anything. Only thing you desired was Larry to do what he already does, which is not talk about you. And said yes to all 52 pages. Signed off on it, y'all, before Larry even did, as you learned here in the paperwork. He signed it before Larry even signed it. If he ain't take the time to meticulously barter through, that's his bald-headed ass business. Because while you was up here online with the line team, falling asleep and shit, dragging Mookie and his husband, being on your bald-headed hoe shit, whatever you didn't understand, whatever you didn't consult with your lawyer with, whatever you didn't ask no questions about, and what you inevitably signed your life away to is a old fucking well with prejudice. Wow. Literally, it's under Section D, additional terms. Number 5, that you are lucid and aware of what you understand here. You are in agreement, with the construction, with the ins and outs of this here settlement. Literally, the agreement asks him itself that when you sign this, you're signing because You understand. You accept. You green light. And you said yes. Oh my God. 6 says each person signing this agreement represents and warrants that he has been duly authorized and has direct requisite authority to execute and deliver the settlement agreement on behalf of and bind the respective parties to its terms and conditions, and has done so of his own free will without coercion and duress, which is exactly what FUPA is claiming. FUPA, as you read here in the email he submitted to his attorney in Larry's, that he was coerced and manipulated, but he signed a document that waived his right to claim any baby, y'all, if y'all don't get out of my face with this, if y'all don't, girl, if y'all, baby, anybody, can we just not even deal with FUPA's narrative? Can we just, you can't be proven more of a full of shit person than just what you, I mean, we don't need to give a damn about another narrative. We can 100% know that everything that comes out of FUPA's mouth is a lie. Period. Just period. Period. I don't give a damn what he says. I don't give a damn what he claims. You can 100% in your spirit. You ain't even got to consult the Holy Ghost. You can already accept it is a fucking lie out of his mouth. It ain't near truth nowhere. And that goes for everybody sitting next to him. There's no truth ever. This is why they don't want to run the paperwork. They will push the live button to sit in front of you with tall tales and deflections. Why not run the paperwork the way we do? Why not pull up the legal documents? If you question PESA, why don't you pull them from all the other sites that has these same documents? Why don't you confront and sit alongside the case itself? It's a shut book, Miss Green. Right. His obsession has caused him to have his own. I got your email too, boo. I think that was you who emailed me. I hope it's you who emailed me. I'm gonna email you tonight. I got your email, boo. I've been so swamped, but I got you tonight. Right, Claudia. We got questions. We got questions. I don't feel sorry for none of the crazy, simple bastards when I think about all the attacks they did on y'all. That ish makes me mad as hell all over again. Called us everything but a child of God. Called us all war criminals, prostitutes, drug addicts, hookers, and whores. Called us everything, baby. Done defiled the law, been in and out of jails, girl. And are bona fide abusers of the law. Over there abused a handicapped man with one eye, who is the great cousin of Fetty Wap, for 2 days, tortured this man after the doctors had him plugged up to every goddamn gurney and waist trainer, had this bitch looking like the octopus man. He had so many goddamn tubes coming out of each and every follicle and crevice of his damn body, and tortured the great second cousin of Fetty Wap. Overton and Overton again for 2 days. But they protect children and stuff. They righteous and stuff. Literally defiled the law. For 3 days straight now. But what they do is take down those who break the law. Can y'all make this shit make sense? Girl, y'all, y'all, in the words of Phaedra, get away from me with this shit, bitch. Are y'all okay? Oh my God. Are y'all okay? Anybody need a water break? Everybody okay? Baby, in the words of Phaedra, when Apollo pulled up on her with that power drill in the garage, Apollo, get away from me with this. Oh my God. Hey, boo. Hey, Miss Perkins. Hey, love. Wow. Oh my God. I am shook, bitch. It's the extremity for me, y'all. I'm just shook by the extremity of it all. Shook. Let me move through this and see what else is here, child. Cause I mean, we pretty much got a. I mean, the whole thing is just. It's just what. It's just perfectly. It's just. It's it. I mean, it's. It's just. It's like a. It's like a. It's this gag order was like written by a god. It's just. Every possibility, like any type of maybe, any type of anything that might have become plausible, it was shut down in the meticulous construction of this gag order. Oh, this looks interesting right here, y'all. Oh, let's see. Once again, we have more reiterating, right? Because if you let the line team tell it, baby, Larry begged for mediation. We already know not to be true from the paperwork. But once again, it's reiterated here. Whereas the disputes between the parties were referred to mediation. Can y'all just go to the back of the sanctuary and drag every little dick energy having ass nigga and every bald headed little ponytail having ass bitch to the front? Because I want them to hear this part. Can my ushers go to the back of the sanctuary and pull all of the window watching, Fupatonian, little dick energy, bald head, no baby hair having ass bitches from the back all the way to the front? Can we do that? Because here it is. Whereas the dispute between the parties was referred to mediation, and the parties through and with their respective attorneys on December the 6th engaged in a mediation conference conducted by United States Magistrate Judge Jonathan D. Greenberg, during which the parties negotiated a settlement of their respective claims, the principal aspects of which settlement were recited on the record with the court. The parties and their respective attorneys represent via video conference, and whereas the parties wish to resolve the dispute between them without further litigation on the terms agreed during settlement. This is why it's with prejudice. Y'all. Oh, that bitch better be in prayer, baby. He better ask Satan what happens now. He better ask Satan what happens now. Baby, the rest of the Fupatonians who haven't hit the Underground Railroad and ran for their life off the plantation, this is your last ditch opportunity. to come up out of captivity. Egypt is no longer. Pharaoh is no longer. There's no more brown paper bag lunches. There's no more cottages. There's no more cheese. There's no more space. Egypt is no more. This is the Fupatonians' last ditch effort to get off the plantation. Sodom and Gomorrah has come to its inevitable end. Run, Fupatonians. What's going on, comedic spirituality for me? Run, bitch. Come up out of that dry places. You no longer have to use tree bark as a maxi pad. You no longer have to use a hard blue flavored waffle as a pregnancy testing strip anymore. You no longer have to satisfy your taste buds by sipping upon sugar water. There is Kool-Aid in the promised land. What's going on, Kenneth? Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand? Oh, let me take a swish. Let me take a swish. Do y'all understand? What's going on, Nate Turner? Do y'all understand? Hold on. I ain't gonna have no deep thought in muscles, girl, if I keep letting the screaming spirit, girl, just be possessing me like, tear my thought up. Oh my God. Therefore, the parties and each of them in exchange for the consideration described herein and other good and valuable consideration, the sufficiency of which is hereby acknowledged, do agree in covenant as follows. Okay, this is it all over again, baby. It goes through it all over again. Internet, live stream, comments, the metadata, the comments, the keywords, the relatives, the employees, the takedowns. The additional terms. I mean, it just goes on and on. Oh, the judge, the attorney even got petty with the intention of pissing the goddamn judge off by transcribing Darryl's words in his live stream yesterday, the ones that are now deleted, where he pretty much said, fuck the courts, he'll do what he wants, he'll take it down at midnight when he feels like it. He, in fact, can talk about Larry and will and plans on doing so, while also threatening violence. Oh, yeah. While Darryl was submitting, Larry saying he's offering me a job, the attorneys submitted them now deleted lives on his platform where he said, fuck you to the courts and to mediation and gag order / protective order, just to put the stank in the sting, baby. To let the judge absolutely know from Fupa's own mouth, beyond even just his actions of defiance, that he verbally affirms his defiance. That's what all this is here. All this going in Patreon, baby. He fucked up when he went live. He know the street committee on him. He know the courts are watching. He know the attorneys are lurking and listening. You can't. You would never be able to come online and say or do anything that won't be memorialized now that everybody is on your motherfucking ass, including ex-Fupatonian cult members who are now conscious crew members and LRLers, as I showed you guys yesterday. We're going to be having some interviews with some ex-members coming up real soon. Okay? I haven't had time to sit down, okay, and to reply to all of those who have converted and found their way to the light, who have openly repented, and who are now a part of supporting the takedown of Fupa, baby. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of these people, baby, for coming to, because baby, we all fall short sometimes, but we all have fallen for a good lie. That's what deception is. Deception is powerful. This is why the scriptures of all kinds, because when I say scriptures, baby, please don't ever think I'm just talking about the Bible, because that is hardly all that God has said, and that is hardly all who God has spoken to. I'm talking about all spiritual texts, baby. Well, you got to be discerning. You got to be responsible in your thinking and critical, not only in your intellectual, but be critical and observant and keen in your spiritualities, in your spiritivities. Because, baby, between charismatic storytelling, these days, that's enough, is the narrative. No substantial facts to back it up. Just good storytelling. People fail. Quite a bit of people fail for this, based upon good storytelling and superficial tears from Shittling Chandler and Fupa, who cried multiple times over the past 5 months, like they were really doing the work. We are protecting the victims. The hell with those people over there, they're liars. We're protecting. I mean, really put on the show. And all these people, you know, the 4 members of the Asinine team, Shittling Chandler, PPP Long, Crenshaw Macmillan, Fupa Gutter Anus Moore, and Roxanne the mustache wearing man. They all look like people who needed sympathy and pity any damn way. So the fact that they came and conjured up all of this mess regarding a accuser who accused Larry of being inappropriate with him. Between all of that in an era of Me Too movements and all of this shit, I understand why on the surface between the performances from the A-Team, who were presenting themselves as people who were out for real justice, for a real hallelujah, I can understand why folk fell for it. I do. I wouldn't have fell for it, bitch, because I'm too critical, bitch. And you ain't getting half of nothing past me. And when you do, bitch, it's because I just waited too long to respond and to take action against what I already knew was deceptive, honey. Because sometimes I do have a delayed reaction. I'd be like, you know what, bitch? I should have been put a chainsaw to the back of that bitch neck. You know. But I can never say I didn't know. Ever. You always know. You always knew it wasn't right. You always knew who a person was. Even if you let shit slide for whatever reasons, you just letting shit slide. But you can't never say you didn't see it. You can't ever say you didn't know it, baby. Very few people actually end up deceived. Because on some level or another, see, God has placed eternity into the hearts of men. Truth is the ingredient of your spirit. So deep down, there's always going to be some semblance of knowing that, baby, something just ain't quite right. But you let a person spin a tangled web anyway because they good at it, honey. And you just go along to get along. I'm compassionate to folk because I know that people have their pain bodies. I know that a lot of people in the Black community have been sexually abused, have relatives who have been sexually abused. We know that men are super quiet about sexual abuse. And so this was a lot of people's opportunity to defend a class of people who, and once again, I want to make this clear. It wasn't even all three accusers. One accuser, which was the first accuser. The other two accusers just accused Larry of being gay. But the first accuser was only one accuser who accused him. And people wanted that to be real because people wanted to see sexually assaulted men have their fair share in an era where we are protecting real and legit victims of abuse. It's just unfortunate, not unfortunate, that this person just was not that. And this is where people are going to have to be very careful in this era of supernatural clout chasing that. And I did a video about this months ago, the dark side of the Me Too movement. And I pulled up cases just over the last decade of people who had made false claims, false sexual abuse, had claimed to have been gang raped on campus, had made false claims of rape by athletes. Very notable historical instances of people who weaponized victimhood for the sake of retribution and pettiness and hatred and self-gain and exploitation. And you're going to have to be discerning in an era where people are going to hijack victimhood for the sake of payola, for the sake of viralship, for the sake of, look at the Shaquisha, Quatisha, the big boned girl who accused Usher Raymond, the pop star singer dancer, of taking her back to a hotel after a show he did where he infected her with an STI, had a dick that was dripping green. 3 weeks into Lisa Bloom's fake, fraudulent, clout chasing attorney, and this is why I don't fuck with attorneys either, because them hoes is stank as hell as well. And Lisa Bloom is a prime example of a corrupted ass, clout chasing, gutter snipe ass, wrinkled face, banana looking ass bitch who abuses the law and finesses it to support people like Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. But she got her banana wrinkled face looking ass and caught herself. Hold on, let me pull this shit up. Caught herself, y'all. Taking on Quatisha's. I want to get this bitch name right. Baby, I blew my head off. Let me see. Usher Raymond. Is it Quatisha? LaQuisha. Woman who says Usher exposed to the herpes. Yep, Quatisha Sharpton. Hold on, let me see something, girl. We going quick segue real quick. Quatisha Sharpton lies about Usher Raymond. Excuse me, y'all. Baby, y'all about to be shook, bitch. Oh my god. Y'all see, and this is what I mean. Hold on. Let me stop sharing this screen here. Let me back that ass up. Because I'm a big fine nigga when I back this ass up. Damn, I look sexy when I back this ass up. I'm a big fine nigga when I back this ass up. Damn, I look good when I back this ass up. I'm a big fine nigga when I back this ass up. Let me pull up this hefty-headed ass bitch and her motherfucking lies and clout chasing ass, baby. Okay, we gonna refer to ice cream convos, baby. What else is new? Let's scroll, honey. Let's take an old stroll down memory lane, y'all. What else is new? Quatasia Sharpton lied about having video of her alleged trust with Usher. Let's keep moving. Sometimes what I hate about these sites, they have so much goddamn spam and spyware and all type of shit going on just so that they can get coin to keep the website going. I mean, I understand the hustle, but goddamn, shit just be slowing down the computer. Okay, girl, let's get into it, honey. What is this shit trying to play here? What is this? Who this white woman is? Who this mayonnaise woman is? Let me get her ass up out of here. I don't want to see her. Why is she there? Why is she looking like that? Hold on. Why this thing loading? What's going on? This is what's slowing my shit down right here. Yes, exit, bitch. You know what? Bloop. Okay. Quotation Sharpton lied about Usher's sex tape, baby. A lie don't give a damn who tells it. Since it's a slow news day, I thought I'd let you know Quotation Sharpton, the woman who is suing Usher for allegedly exposing her to herpes, lied when she claimed to have a video of their romp at the day's end during an interview. Here's the link. Okay, a whole interview. Here's the scoop. Sharpton did an interview with Miss Jacob Tuesday and claimed straight up she made a sex tape with Usher and he was down with it. Sharpton's attorney, Lisa Banana Face Bloom, tells us that her client's statement is really just a misunderstanding. Bloom goes further to use her supernatural line-ass abilities to say that there is no sex tape. We're guessing Bloom had no idea Sharpton did the interview and came into confession. While the sex tape might be kaput, Bloom says they still believe the two may have been caught on the hotel's surveillance system. Oh, girl has serious issues. She needs help, and Usher needs to smack sis with a defamation lawsuit that is bigger than she. Never mind. Now, let's get a more in-depth article, baby. Because that article right there wanted the key. That article right there wanted the key, baby. Hold on, baby. This bitch lied not only about the sex tape, but lied about the whole encounter and admitted she did it because she just wanted to be famous. She just wanted to know how it felt, y'all. How it was to feel important. She just wanted to know what it felt like. To be relevant. This is how far people will go. And off the heels of people who have clout to abuse. Now, I'm going to just read this article instead of sharing it. Quotation Sharpton, the woman who accused Usher singer of giving her herpes during a one-night stand, has decided to drop her lawsuit. Usher has continuously denied the accusations and has been dragged through the legal system for a long time trying to disprove the claims. It looks like the truth is on his side as the woman has finally decided to give up and will not pursue any more claims against the R&B star. Details of the situation are still not clear. Some speculate that Usher may have agreed to settle out of court, but neither the singer nor the woman have confirmed this so far. Many seem to believe that the woman has simply decided to drop the case after realizing that she cannot get anything out of it. The legal situation around Usher has been a strange one in many ways. At one point, the woman refused to answer questions during a deposition, to which Usher responded with a request to have her sanctioned. However, his request was denied by the judge. The artist has been facing multiple attacks from different sides, but he seems to be doing a good job battling them so far. While some suspected that he may not turn out to be guilty in the end, that was not the case, far from it. One person had this reaction. He probably paid her big ass to shut up and go away. Only reason people drop cases like this, she said, she's negative. Doesn't have herpes. Usher should sue her actually. Another commenter said that doesn't mean he didn't give it to her. No justice is just here. Now, meanwhile, Usher has continued to work on his career despite having to deal with these nasty accusations from multiple sides and wasting a lot of time in court. Now, this still ain't the confession I'm looking for, because I don't know where I was or where I found it, but this bitch gave an in-depth interview. And this was well after she had dropped her suit and all of this, where she eventually came forward and said she literally made all this up. Lisa Bloom hauled ass faster than this, baby. And it exposed how greedy and attention hungry Lisa Bloom is. She ain't vet the story, no nothing. No nothing. The girl claimed she never had sex. He never took her back in the room, never gave her an STI, and she just wanted to know what all this felt like. In 3 weeks, y'all, Lisa Bloom put together a press conference and all. 3 weeks into all this media, that this woman's tall tales garnered for her. She did what Fupa was trying to do with the Larry Reid shit. I mean, take nothing and produce action, baby, behind it. 3 weeks into press conferences, major publicity, celebrity attorney drops the lawsuit and admits that this did not happen. It's the insecurity in people for me. It's the insecurity in people for me. And this is what y'all better look out for in this age where people can say any damn thing and say it well. Where people can tell a well-to-do lie to you, baby, look you dead in your face without blinking, and then bring themselves to tears to strike up conviction and convincibility in you, and will be a straight up lying narcissist devil straight from the pits of hell. This here, I don't even know what to say. Fupa has fucked up. And the good news is we all want to see him in jail. And that's exactly what he's going to allow us to bear witness to. He could get sentenced anywhere from 30 to 90 days. I mean, this is federal. The judge can actually assign any length of time. And considering that this man's behavior was in conjunction with his oral fuck you to the courts, and we're talking about a black man telling high-ranked, privileged, and powerful white men, fuck you to your white system. How in the hell does Fupa ever think that's going to go well? You are a black man in what you know is a pale supremacy system. And you think that mayonnaise people are going to be compassionate toward your black, bald head, bald mouth, dusty ass? You think that mayonnaise people in power is going to put up with your niggerment? And you are well aware that you are a non-privileged black man in a pale supremacist ass country where they barely wanted to give Ahmaud Arbery his just dues. Who does this bitch think he's playing in the face of? That's what devils do, Miss Davis. How are you praying for people and you are a whole devil? He is transferring that craziness to those people. But see, our prayers are more powerful than theirs. There's a mass exodus out of Fupatonian. Them people are finding them where to the Consciouztv planet, y'all. But every time they pray, they are putting them folk into the sunken place. Them people openly abused a handicapped man for 2 days straight, tortured them, binded them, rejected them, gagged and gawked and make fun of them. For 2 days, their friend, our open enemy, but their friend. The cult leader himself is a self-professed 3 times convicted felon who went to jail, according to him, who had to be pardoned from prison by being a snitch to a bigger criminal than him because he was accused of damn near fatally injuring a special needs child by taking a hard object and busting him in his head. And allegedly, that handicapped child survived and grew up to be an adult, but recently died this year and may have in fact died from those injuries that he eventually succumbed to. We're talking about a man who caught CPS on Andrea, him and his team, who then threatened to call CPS on Larry, but who is on video threatening his own sons to shoot up the house if he came down them stairs and didn't have the burger he requested his son to bring down to the basement in his hand, that he would machine gun AK-47 sawed-off rifle Columbine the crib, and was for real. The same man who testified before the YouTube orations and confessed that he has beat other special needs children in the head with the hard part of the belt buckle behind bleachers, that he has hid himself in corners, in the school hallways, in the gymnasium, to viciously attack and beat other people's children who they trusted in his custody, and has the unmitigated goddamn gall to call himself calling CPS and parading himself around as a protector. Don't get me started, baby. Because see, girl, don't you get me started. Yeah, Claudia, that child grew up to be an adult and passed away this year, allegedly. And might have been from injuries that occurred from that head bashing. Right, Troy. Right. Sad part is the people who subscribe and follow him support his foolishness and got the nerve to try to be some type of vigilante. Got the nerve to turn around and speak evil of other people's goods. Got the nerve. He lives around 500 plus convicted sex offenders in his own city and got the nerve to accuse someone else of being an abuser while doing nothing about keeping an eye on all the abusers he's living amongst. Known and proven violators. So desperate for clout that he would attack, project, and slander innocent people for payola and hypervisibility. Because it's FUPA on the neck of anybody else who's not bigger than him. No. You don't see him out here attaching himself consistently to anybody bigger than him, because this is all about clout. He found his groove And Larry shut his motherfucking ass up. And now God is allowing us to bear witness to this bitch having a hardened heart and falling on his own sword, so that this man can be incarcerated and fully removed off these streets and absolutely pay. And always conducive to righteousness for what he's done. God will have this man spend time separated from the one thing that he gets his gratification from, which is the internet. Baby, this bitch not going to be able to survive in prison. This man's going to have no access to anything. He already lost his mind because he can't even talk about Larry. When this bitch is locked up, he absolutely can't talk about Larry. He can't sit on a StreamYard. He can't do a prayer call. He can't have no interactions. His little bit of thrill will be removed. And I relish in his demise. This man has had 2 years, him and his teammates, to sit down, shut up, get lost somewhere. Even had an opportunity to not be sued and to carry on with their lives, because they could have responded righteously to a cease and desist and simply cease and desisted. They thought Larry was bluffing. Larry caught them on their bluff. And now every bitch will get got. And starting with the head of the snake. Let this set a precedent for what every raggedy body, zigzag spirited ass, onion headed, triple chin, double belly ass bitch over there can expect in the first quarter of January, because we're doing this all over again. Starting with Miss PPP Long Crenshaw Macmillan. There is no sympathy, no empathy. These hoes can't cry about being punished, beat, held against their will, being jumped. No, nothing. Had years, along with cease and desist, warnings and all. Can even see that this is even not about finding something to do. These people are deranged and demented, because the head of the snake can't even find it in himself to save his own life. Now, everything he's going to experience as a result of being in contempt, and I believe he will continue to be in contempt. He cannot even blame on CTV. He can't blame on Breaking the Culture. He can't blame on David Finella. He can't blame it on Larry D. Reid. Now he is fully responsible for why he is in contempt, why he is deciding to be disobedient and rebellious, why he is. Now, this is his own stank he's sitting in. Absolutely, Martha. He can't talk about LR. So he's defaulting to pimping stories on the passing of his father that we know he didn't give a damn about. He left town off of the 14 supporters tab, who bought him a Spirited Airlines ticket, was down there with his grieving family for 1.5 days, got back that Monday after burying his dad, got online with the 18 and doxed and committed to walk his ass into this motherfucking everlasting eternal work he's getting now. But he's the victim. I fully believe that this man definitely has had dreams of being an actor, because he certainly performed and still is performing. The threats are frivolous and trivial. Nothing will ever come or manifest of them. The truth will never be in him, nor will he ever tell it or confess it. This is narcissism and supernatural clout chasing coupled with some real chemical imbalances and mental and emotional issues. The courts will, in fact, stop him for him. Larry's other superpower lawyer, Andrew, is actively working in conjunction with the courts, Google, Buy Me a Coffee, and the likes to have these social medias shut down. Because FUPA is in contempt, the judge will send out an order that absolutely allows Andrew to press the delete button for FUPA. YouTube and all social media networks move very fast to court orders. So once those orders are submitted to these networks, you will see within a week the channels come down. And because I've been a part of other lawsuits of this kind, I can tell you right now that while FUPA had an opportunity to salvage what was left of any of his platforms by just going through all of the Larry Reid live related stuff, when Google gets that judgment that Andrew is going to submit from the judge, YouTube does not spend time looking through, not YouTube, Google doesn't spend any time vetting through what's what on the platform. They just go ahead and snatch your wig ball like they did for William McRae. When Bishop Matthews got his judgment in that lawsuit that I helped him with against William McWig, within 1 week, Google responded, snatched William's website and his YouTuberations and wherever else Bishop Matthews wanted relief at. And they didn't bother to find the videos specifically about Bishop Matthews because Google don't get into all of that, baby. They don't retain their employees long enough, baby, to sit and go through your platform for you. They have no idea where the hell anything is. So they go ahead and hit the goddamn delete button. Because if you already getting a court order against you on a social media site, it means that you have already abused the community guidelines of the platform. So there's no mercy and wiggle room. Because if somebody had to take action against you, that means you already in violation, boo-boo. So you can go bye-bye. And let him keep trying to get up. He'll go bye-bye again and again and again. There's other content creators who'd have been banned off this bitch by court orders. It's other content creators who'd have been banned off this bitch and attempted to resurrect themselves. And every time they did, bitch, bye-bye. Bloop. Video wasn't up no longer than 30. Bloop. Gone. Done. I have a soft spot for that circus clown because he clowns well. I understand. He clowns well, honey. He does clown well. Now, I gotta go pee-pee. I gotta use the restroom. All this is about to be loaded to Patreon. Please check out our other private investigator, Knockout Media. I think he has a live stream or plan for tonight. Please check him out, honey. You will see all type of things that you never knew. Girl, Knockout Media played videos of Fupa chewing his dog food for the dog to soften the dog food to give to the dog. I mean, it was some sick shit. That because I don't watch Fupa. I had no idea that was the type of debauchery and disgustingness that goes on over there. This vile and animalistic. Couldn't believe it. Disgusted. So, child, check him out. I love y'all. I got to get over here. That bitch is gagged up. The next time I'll be coming to y'all is to let you guys know what is going to happen when the judge responds. Once again, happy birthday to Auntie Trisha. And we're going to pop our pussy on out the door, y'all. Let's do it.
Hey, what's up, Larry, baby? Listen, this is just a little remix to remind you that you are still the shiznit. So don't even worry about Darryl Moore the bomb and his B-team minions, because you had a purpose before they even had an opinion. You still got much love out here, and you are still winning. So let those haters hate, and let those trolls troll. Wow. They are just mad because they will never ever rise to your level. Y'all haters ain't on his 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 level. You ain't on his level. Here we go. We're gonna start with Darryl Moore. You ain't on his level. And I'll say your name, cause from the pits of the hell you came. You's a dirty old man. You came up with a lame ass plan. You tried to take Larry down, with a proof that was unfound. Shame on you. Find something else better to do. Cause that same ditch that you dig in is the same ditch your ass gonna fall in. You recruited El Carter, and his dumb ass ain't no smarter. And as a matter of fact, I think you want Larry's feet in your crack. Marcellus, looking like Hannibal Buress. You're always making threats, but ain't never done a damn thing yet. Ain't you that gutter snake who made fun of Larry's rape? You'll say it ain't so, but when we saw you on a video, shut the hell up and sip your tea, because a badass you'll never be. All you do is talk shit with that lame ass 18 clip. And now we got big little Kim, who really just wants to sit in. I won't go in on you, sis, but you're so much better than this. And Roxanne, Darryl don't wanna be your man. He is just using you because he needs a clicking of you. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Black Mr. Clean. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Whoever the hell y'all be, you ain't on his level. Y'all the biggest haters I ever seen. Y'all niggas ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. You ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. Y'all haters ain't on his level. You tried it though. Gotta give you an A for effort, but you really gotta E for epic failure. Don't go cry in the car.